Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday or Friday, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Conscious Educator Playground Masterclass. And we are going to dive in today to talk about simple, sustainable, healthy habits and routines. And today, I am always excited to have Shiva join us and have this conversation together. Shiva's joining us from her car again because she's navigating this world of a senior and doing all the things with them at the end of the school year, as many of you may be. And for anyone else that's in the waiting room here on Zoom, if you would like to be on live with us on video, please do a hand raise so that I don't just bring you on if you just wanted to listen, which you can do as well. But if you would like to join us on video, please do a little hand raise so that I can bring you on live, which would be amazing. The more the merrier in this conversation, because we can all learn from each other in ways that those simple little things that maybe we think about, or that we break out the shame bat and go, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or remember when I did that and it felt really good and I was doing it all the time and now I don't do it anymore. What are some of the other things that we say to ourselves, Shiva, that we're like, that it's like, oh, I wish I was doing that again, or oh, I was so this at that time when I was doing that thing. Like, what are other things that we say?
Or just if somebody else is doing something that we really admire, but we're not there yet.
Right.
Oh man, they work out 6 days a week. I'm not even working out at all. It's like, we're always saying something about what we're not doing instead of saying, you know what? I admire them for working out 6 days a week. I'm going to start by doing 2 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's really where we're going to get to today, is we're going to share some of these hacks and these ways that we can dive in and get to a place where we do reignite those things. Those of us here in the Northern Hemisphere are, it's like, how do I divide the world? Northern Hemisphere are getting into summer, right? Southern Hemisphere, you guys are getting into winter, but getting into summer, and that's usually the time when we're like, oh, it's like spring cleaning and time to rejuvenate and if we think about the cycles of nature, is how are we doing that in a way that it serves us, that feels really good? And if we think about the winter months that maybe the Southern Hemisphere are getting into, is like that time to really get curious with yourself and kind of go inward a little bit. So either place you're at, take this as inspiration, take it for food for thought, take it for something to get curious about, and really lean into what serves you, right? And what serves you in a way that allows you to be your authentic self, right? And Ward, I'm loving your comments, right? Acknowledging what you are doing, that is fantastic. And when we can do more of going, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself for doing this thing. So Ward, what is one of those things? Ward, go ahead and type in the chat. What is one of those things that you are most proud of that you're doing that is a simple, sustainable, healthy routine that maybe others have said, hey, I'm inspired by the fact that you do that. Whatever it is, right? And Ward, yeah, I'm going to bring you onto video. Since you raised your hand, you threw yourself into the fire. I love it. And if that was unintentional, I can take you out. I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't want to be. Ward, it's great to see you. I'm so happy you're here. It's great.
I'm happy I'm here too. No worries. So by taking the time for myself, doing things, sorry about my dog. My dog wanted to put his 2 cents in as well. Taking time for myself, music. That's what I've been doing. Making time to play, and not only play, but write. So
I'm so happy to hear that. I remember when we first met, it was challenging for you to make the time to do that. And I love that you phrased it that way, as I'm making the time.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you? Like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What are you doing to make the time?
It feels really, really good. That's what it feels like. No, I in the evening, I usually will, after dinner, I'll come on up into my office and I'll take 2-3 hours and I'll just write and practice.
Yeah. What did you used to do with that time?
Sit on the couch, be a couch potato. And
I am so grateful for your honesty. I end up down social media rabbit holes or binge watching rabbit holes, and I'm like, holy bananas, where did the last 2 hours go? What would it?
That's another danger thing that I have been doing, YouTube and watching wonderful musicians and music theory and all that good stuff, but it can be dangerous.
Yes. But stuff that fills your soul, right?
Right.
And so when we think about those simple things, it doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm going to meditate for 3 hours a day, or I'm going to exercise 12 days a week, or I'm exaggerating and being ridiculous for a reason. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard. It can be something as simple as choosing something that brings you joy, right? And so, Sheba, what's something that you've implemented that you're proud of?
Oh, I've been really, really working on me. But I've implemented, so I actually make my own skincare, and I've been doing that for myself and for my kids for the last few months. And it's been really good.
That's so
Just,
fun.
yeah, just creating. I was reading books on, like, essential oils and organic things that worked for the skin. So that's been pretty cool.
That's fantastic. How did I know that? I feel like, how did I not know that for how often we talk? And
Okay.
then, wait, did I not know that? Did I know that? I don't remember.
Well, I was just doing it for myself and for my family, but I just actually I got my business license a couple of days ago in my state. And yes, so I'm looking at the end of summer being able to launch it and sharing my craft with the world.
I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
Look at that. A simple joy that you're now going to turn into a business.
I mean, why
not? Why not? My dear friend Amy Jo Martin has a podcast called Why Not Now. That is one of those moments, right? Any of you that have not watched the Why Not Now podcast, she has some incredible episodes. And so it's one of those things. Like, I am getting ready to launch the Conscious Educator podcast, and it's like, why not now? Why not now? I am launching it later this month. More details coming soon. And so that's super exciting, because we get to share this wisdom that we all have with the world and with each other. We get to create community in a way that we all get to show up and hold this amazing container as conscious humans. And in the world of education that is, as always, and even more so with every passing day, a lot. And I know that's an understatement for a lot of people that are going through a lot right now. We're still here, we're still standing, we're still showing up, and we're still doing what's best for the students that we live to serve. And whether your students are adults, whether your students are children, whether they are preschool age, no matter what age your students are, if you are an educator and you are teaching and inspiring and igniting the inner genius in other humans, you are an educator, you are an edupreneur. And this community is all about shining a light on your brilliance. And how do we do this together? How do we do this in a way where we can amplify our consciousness? Because that's our superpower. And that's really how we make all the difference in the world. And that's why these things matter. So when we think about, let's talk about routines that have challenged us, for the three of us. What are those routines that we haven't quite unlocked how to make it as sustainable as we want? What's one of those? Do we have one? Do you guys have one? What's one of those where you're like, I want that to be a little more sustainable and I haven't unlocked it yet?
I'll jump in. Definitely my nighttime routine. So when I come home, there's so many different things that I could be doing. I could stretch, I could, read, I could meditate. And, after a crazy day, I just pass out. So it makes the morning really, really crazy and frenetic. And as soon as I get that nighttime routine, like 100% perfected.
Did you hear your perfection back come out?
I'll go 80. Yeah. So that's something
Has there
that I
been a
can.
time? Has there been a time that you had that dialed in to where it felt good for you? Was there a time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it was probably when, I mean, I was still teaching, but I didn't have my own classroom.
Mm.
I was subbing. So, it's super easy to go in and to teach and have fun when somebody else is doing the bulk of the planning and everything else.
Right. Right. Got it. And so when you think about, oh, well, then it was easier. So those are things that our brains do to keep us safe. And there's something that's blocking us, right? Because there's some sort of payoff to hanging on to the excuses that we all make as to why we're not living in alignment with what resonates the most with us. And I'm not going to say what's good, bad, right, or wrong, because that's different for everyone, right? Is what resonates the most. And when we have this vision, and Shiva, I love this so much because mine is similar, but it's more my morning routine. And it's I like snooze. I do. And there's a payoff for me, right? There is a habit that I have created, that I've given myself this payoff. And so Shiva, that's why I say it's similar, because I think it's a sleep thing for each of us to go, that maybe we're not listening to our bodies and actually setting up our routine that anchors in our sleep, that then anchors in those other routine things, versus creating an unrealistic expectation. Because my realistic I just called it realistic. It's not working, so it's not realistic right now. Routine is a 3-hour morning routine. And I have done it before, and it has been glorious. And it sets up the entire rest of my day to where I feel fantastic. And like I can roll with whatever life throws at me. And not that I don't feel it, but things roll, right? And so she'd be exactly like it's glorious. You're like, yep, I did it once. And yet when we get out of those habits, and we get into this, well, and mine is like when I'm half asleep going, 9 more minutes is okay. It's just 9 more minutes. But 3 times of 9 more minutes is, oops. There went my half-hour meditation, or there went my half-hour workout, or there went my, oh, now I got to try to fit it in. Now I'm rushing. Now I'm this, or now I don't get to like get ready slowly. I'm like rushing to get ready instead. And I'm, so I'm only like fighting against myself. And that's where it's self-sabotage, right? It's self-abandonment, really, is I'm not honoring what I truly want and what I know I can do for some payoff that I'm not paying attention to. And this is in real time. Like I navigate this every morning or every night before I go to bed. And the nights when I go to bed, when I can, and this is how I know what my hack is to shift it, just not doing it consistently yet. I'll check back and let you know when I truly get this. But the hack for me is that before I go to sleep is that I commit to, I will wake up, and I repeat that to myself before I go to sleep. When my alarm goes off, I will get out of bed and brush my teeth. After I brush my teeth, I will meditate. And so I imprint that into my unconscious mind a few times before I fall asleep. And I do not set 2 alarms or 3 alarms, which sometimes I do and then that's my habit, versus the habit hack, which is really imprinting into our unconscious mind. This is what I'm committed to doing. And under no circumstances am I letting myself off the hook. Like, I am important. This matters to me. And I am doing this. And so, Ward, similar to what you were talking about, is you chose differently. You chose to then go into your music room, into your space, right? So when and I'm sure that this happened in your brain, right? Is when I'm going to make this up. After I have dinner, as soon as I walk into my music room, I will spend whatever quantity of time resonates with my soul playing and writing music, right? And so you've created that habit by backing up into what is already the habit and then narrating what you will do and what you are committed to, right?
Yes, but I used to ride my bike quite a bit, and then lockdown happened, and that's one thing that I want to get back into doing. I used to ride my bike when I would get off work, and I felt really, really good doing it. And so, but now, not so much. It's like, okay, but if I go riding, it's too hot outside. I make excuses like we all do, right?
We all do. We all have that itty bitty shitty committee that, tells us that, oh, I don't want to, oh, I don't. And if you're doing that and you want to do that, then do it.
Right.
If you want to sit on the couch and scroll social media or binge watch something or eat bonbons, I don't know if bonbons are still a thing. Like, then own it and say, this is what I'm choosing today. The whole goal of being conscious and amplifying our genius as conscious educators is choosing things intentionally. We're doing it on purpose. It's why I always use the hashtag life on purpose or culture on purpose. Just do it on purpose. No matter what it is, do it on purpose. Instead of because of all the excuses or because of, yeah, it's true that it's hot outside. You're in Las Vegas, Ward. It's freaking hot right now. So, right, and it's 4:00 in the afternoon at 111. I don't want to go ride a bike at 111, right? So it's not that your excuses aren't true or that they're bad or wrong. It's about narrating them of whether they are serving you or not. Because it is true to say, it's too hot, I don't want to ride my bike. And it's equally true to say, it's too hot, I will ride my bike in the morning instead. Right? You're saying the same thing. You're still not riding your bike right now.
Right.
It's just, what are you doing with that excuse on the other side? And when we begin to take control of our minds and do things on purpose, when we start first noticing that we're making excuses, that the itty bitty shitty committee has taken over, right? Flip it. Who's the itty bitty cheerleading committee, right? Who's in charge? You are. You are. Choose which one. It's not easy, especially when you first start recognizing which one or myriad of them. We all have them, just like the movie, oh my gosh, help me out. Pixar movie, is it Pixar? Disney. Inside Out. There we go. Pixar and Disney, don't get mad at me that I forgot which one. It's Inside Out, and they've got all the voices right in the head. Got joy and anger and sadness, and that's normal. We're not weird. We're not a freak. No, we all have different voices that feed different parts of us in our minds, and we have conversations with ourselves in our minds. I remember growing up and it was like, no, that's weird if you have voices in your head. It's how we think. What do you mean? It's not weird. It's how we're wired. Like we're supposed to, right?
Absolutely.
So, and if we're weird, I want to be weird. I like join the weird party. Like I want to be weird like that. It's once we take our power back and take control of it, right? That's how we start to hack our habits and make them sustainable, but do it with something simple. Try it with something simple. Maybe it's just shifting that you drink an extra glass of water a day. Just going to drink a glass of water. Maybe it's a half a glass of water. If a full glass of water feels like too much, I'm going to drink a half a glass of water right when I wake up in the morning. So how can you set yourself up for success? Do you set that glass of water in the fridge because you like it cold? Or do you set it next to your bed because you like it room temperature so that it's right there? And you set it on your counter, the first place you walk in the morning, wherever that is. Set yourself up for success, but make it in micro moments so that you can feel that sense of progress, which in the science of happiness is one of the pillars of success. So start small and then add on. Once that becomes your new norm, right? How many times have we talked about, I want to get back to normal, or I want to create a new normal? Let's do it intentionally, but do it in bite-sized pieces. Don't go into this, I want the perfect, Shiva, I'm just going to tease you because I'm doing the same thing, right? I want the perfect nighttime routine. I want the perfect 3-hour morning routine, right? Please make it all perfect. And yet, no, let's start small, right? So even if I don't optimize that time in the morning, if I simply reward myself for not hitting snooze and actually getting up out of bed, even if I wander aimlessly for a little bit or whatever, get the creaks out. Approaching 50, so the creaks are coming in. That's fun. Sorry, different subject. if we can just get to a place where we give ourselves permission, no matter where we're at with our routines and our habits, get curious. Take some time, because you matter and you're worth it. Get curious. What's working? What's not working? So as we wrap up, go ahead, Ward.
I would also say that give yourself permission and forgive yourself when you do hit the snooze button, right? Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, it's just snooze. It's all good. I'm still waking up, right?
Right.
Yeah. And focusing on gratitude. So that's one of the things, Warden, I appreciate that you said that, because when I do hit snooze, I often will, instead of shaming myself in that moment, I'll be like, okay, I'm giving myself permission that this morning, my meditation is just gratitude as I'm laying here, not getting out of bed. It's just, I'm grateful for my pillow. I'm grateful for my sheets. I'm grateful for, my mattress. I'm grateful for the home I get to live in. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for, I start, I even go down to, if I'm getting lost, like, oh, I'm grateful for my toaster oven, because, that's a cool appliance. Like, I'm grateful for whatever it is. Really grounding in that is huge. Ward, I appreciate you saying that. And Ward, you're on mute, so I didn't hear your words.
I said you're welcome.
Awesome. So as we round out in these next 3 minutes, I would love to hear from each of you. What is one simple routine hack that you are committed to? What's the one simple one you're committed to?
So I have an alarm that, just reminds me, hey, it's time to start winding down. So the hack for me is starting to kind of wind down before the alarm goes off, and just being very intentional. So like when I come home, and you're talking about scrolling social media. Mm-hmm. Instead of scrolling social media, maybe I'll just, meditate and use that quiet time to kind of rest and unwind. And then I think, just doing those simple things will just lead into a better nighttime. I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 hours between when I get home and when it starts. Right. So why start it a little earlier?
And maybe it's choosing music, right? Maybe
absolutely.
What do you press play on, to use what Ward's doing really well right now is music. Is choose music as soon as you walk in the door. What's your playlist? What's your evening playlist? That's fun.
Oh, well, I listen to a ton of things. And since Micah, he's a classical violist, I love even just listening to his performances or to him practice. So soothing.
Oh, I love that. Will you share? Because he's going to be, on stage at some point.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I love it. Ward, what's yours?
Piggybacking on music, I have been getting back into Donna Summers again, the Queen of Disco.
Yay! That's so fun.
Yeah, it is. She had a hell of a voice.
Yes.
Yeah. 70s music all the way.
Yep, I am so with you, Ward. I was, choosing music for the podcast today, and working with Raina, who's helping me put it all together. And I'm like, oh, my vibe is just that 70s, like it's got to be something that's uplifting, but has just this rhythm to it. So I don't know if we found it or not yet, but any recommendations you have, Ward, I would be.
MacArthur Park.
All right. I will look it up. I love it. So for those of you watching live or listening to this on recording, really take the time to honor what is working for you. Be proud, celebrate those things, those routines, those habits that are going well, even if they're little ones. And then start small. Pick one little one that you're going to kick off for tomorrow. You don't have to wait. Start now. If it's small, start now. You're worth it. You matter. As educators, as edupreneurs, you pour your heart and soul into your work and everything you do. Remember, you matter first, and you get to pour into your cup in these micro moments and in these ways. We're here to support you any way you need. Thank you for joining us in the Conscious Educator Playground, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate you. Talk soon. Bye, everyone.